Disclaimer: Third Eye Therapy is a podcast. I and my co host are not licensed therapists. If you feel you need a licensed professional, please reach out to one immediately. Our speech, content, dialect, and open communication is not meant to dictate your life or offer advice, but rather encourage freedom as a state of mind. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Therapy Podcast. It's your girl and friend, Monica. I am the content creator, visionary leader, and host of Third Eye Therapy. This episode is one that is very special and dear to my heart. Today's episode is dedicated to a beautiful soul that left us behind, yet gone but never forgotten, in loving memory of my brother, Deki Nakano. As you may know, today is March 14th of 2022. 7 years ago on this day, March 14th of 2015, at this time, between 3:30 and 3:45 p.m., I lost a brother, homie, and friend, Deki. We lost Deki in a motorcycle accident here in Houston, Texas. The news of his passing spread quick, shattering the hearts of many. So many people loved and admired Deki. He had such a fun and light energy about him. His voice was deep. His laughter was contagious. His smile was huge. And his presence was felt as soon as he entered the room. He'd enter the room with a goofy face and a peace sign with his 2 motor oil infused fingernails just swinging. He and I shared a lot of the same heart, dreams, and our love for people, art, music, socializing, creating, and freedom. We also shared so many beautiful, fun, deep, and memorable moments together. These were truly some of the best times of my life. We jammed the drum and bass, heavy dub, and funky house beats while we were out running the streets, hitting the after hours and catching vibes at some of the grimiest little crevices of our city. I'm so truly grateful to him and have always been inspired by him. He and I were always very present with one another. Deki always looked after me. Deki was someone who knew how to make people feel seen and feel special. He taught me so many things. Deki was a son, a brother, a father, and an amazing friend. He was always so lighthearted and humble and never really saw how special he truly was. Everyone else definitely saw and felt it. He left a lasting impact on so many hearts. Deki and I both shared the gift of connecting with people, and this is why we loved kicking it so much, because we related so deeply to one another on so many levels. This episode truly honors him and his memory for who he was at his best. The goal has always been to keep him alive through all the ways he touched the deepest parts of our souls. So I carry on his legacy by doing something we always dreamt of doing together. Deki was podcasting on live streams before podcasts were a thing. He had a live stream that he and another friend, Blake, would spin on called Cell B. I'd get that every Sunday text saying, "Yo sis, tune in," with a time and a link. He was a jack of all trades. He was a DJ, an artist, an all-around intellectual, engineer, with a goofy, fun, loving spirit and a creative mind. More than anything, he loved to meet new people and share his common interest of love of music, art, mechanics, working on cars, machines of all kinds, motorcycles, old school Honda Civic hatchbacks, Japanese wheels and culture, drawing, and graffiti or street art. He had the most fun when he'd spin a set and share his love of music with somebody else. He would show mad love everywhere he was. He loved bringing people together. He loved that sense of community. He lived by honor, respect, family, friendship, and loyalty. Deki would take pics symboling an L shape with his fingers, which stood for one love. As I keep his legacy alive, I'd like to introduce some beautiful souls who I've connected with and shared some love with, as we connected organically. The circle of love continues to grow. This episode is the baseline which sets the tone going forward of our memory of our brother and friend as we carry on the One Love movement. Deki taught me to be inspired, stay inspired, and to continue to inspire others. We have so much in store for y'all on this special episode. I'm going to be introducing a couple of amazing souls that have inspired me and share some sneak peeks of some upcoming video launches and teasers of upcoming episodes. So welcome to episode 2 of Third Eye Therapy. This one is called One Love. We celebrate your life, your legacy, your spirit, and your heart today. So I bow to you, brother, and say, Hideki-san, hey!
Oh, yeah. Let's check it out. It's the life and what we're putting in, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're not all perfect people, man. Ain't nobody flawless. Much love. Oh, yeah, what's up? Love all of y'all. I'm trying to get over, but I try to respect, you know what I'm saying? It never had a friend like me. It's like an outer body experience. Every human being is capable of being whatever they want. Keep your mind right.
Thank you for that intro, brother. I miss you. We miss you. This one's for you.
Wait. Let's check it out.
Thank you to all who have tuned in and who are still listening thus far and who have celebrated and honored the memory of my brother Deki. So as I've stated earlier, we have a lot of inspiring episodes with people who I've met along the way. I met these people in some amazing ways. These were pure, organic connections. Lots of full circle moments. We'll be featuring each of them in their own full episodes, along with launching some videos on our YouTube channel. So first, I'd like to introduce Sativa. He's calling in from Sacramento, California to join us today on this special episode. Let's show some West Coast love. And yes, that's his real government name. Sativa has inspired me through a shared interest, love, and passion from urban cycling. I'd also like to introduce a local barber who has really inspired me through his own movement. Milk the Barber, aka the Fade Doctor. Both of these guys have some really deep and inspiring stories and lots of positive insight and inspiration to share. So let's get on this call with Sativa first.
Hey.
Yo, Sativa. What's up, dude?
Not a whole lot.
West Coast in the house.
Yes.
Yo, so my brother had deep ties to the West Coast, so I thought it was appropriate to have you a part of this special episode and to introduce you to our community and welcome you to our circle of love.
Thank you. I feel very welcome and blessed to be part of this.
And also I wanted to share because of the way you and I met and connecting, forming a beautiful friendship over Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Instagram friends.
I think it's one of those things that, people don't associate something like that with Instagram. It's not something that people would think that something friendships or
and a lot of people use Instagram for other things, they be
exactly.
Yeah. the story behind Sativa and I, it all started with a photo of my super rad purple bike and a hashtag on the gram.
So basically, like what I do it still to this day. I searched Instagram through hashtags, and this one was under the fixed gear hashtag. I go through, I like people's photos, I comment, share the love, just kind of try to connect with the community and the culture. And I don't know, there's something about your bike. I think it was like the color matching and just the way it was, it stood out to me.
The
So
vibe.
I commented on it. It said something like, "Man, I wish my shit matched like this," and something that you could admire. And then next thing you know, you follow each other and interact with one another, and it blossoms from there.
Absolutely.
It's super organic.
Super organic. That was like,
Yeah,
and it was something that we were both passionate about. And
for sure.
when I was scoping your profile, I was like, yo, this dude is like, he's like balls deep in the cycle.
Yeah, one might say obsessed.
But that's okay. That just means you're so passionate about it.
Yeah, highly motivated on the bike for sure.
Yes, and that was something that I noticed right off the bat that I was like super inspired by. And I was like, yo, this dude makes me want to get on my bike every single day. And you almost challenged me to like get out there and like ride even further distances because I would see
I
you
love that.
I was seeing you like going on these rides and it's like everything that you were sharing. And then also I noticed how you took the time to, share like the little things, flowers or plants or animals and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, this dude and I are on the same vibe.
For sure. Yeah. You got to stop and smell the roses from time to time, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, and so yeah, you were super. That's one of the reasons why you inspired me so much, and you make me want to be a better cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
so recently, what have you been up to? Share with everybody a little bit of like what's been going on recently, like where you were, where you are now in the present moment, and what's to come.
So I'm based in Sacramento, California. I do. I work in a very odd field. Most people wouldn't maybe know is a thing, but I work in biohazard contamination remediation and waste removal. So we do everything from like crime scene cleanups.
Oh my gosh,
Hoarder,
really?
yeah,
Yo,
hoarder cleanups.
hoarders too?
Yeah, car versus pedestrian, car versus bike, all of that, and then everything down to, um, you know, uh, cleaning up homeless camps and getting rid of their bio waste and
Oh wow.
sharps, stuff that they typically don't get rid of and they just pile up. That's kind of my day-to-day job is working around the homeless community and kind of cleaning up their communities. Um, so I'm definitely in touch with Sacramento's people and my community, and
Yeah.
it makes me feel good. I clean my city up, but also I've been riding bikes since I was a kid. I started riding BMX when I was little. Um, Found out about mountain biking, learned how to get a downhill bike, and started riding downhill. Found out about track bikes and started riding fixed. And then
Yes.
once
I love those.
yeah,
I found a love. That's my special bike. That's when I go on those like I'm feeling some type of way cruises. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
there's no other bike, and this is in my opinion, there's no other bike that you're so connected with. It's and for those who don't know, a fixed gear bike typically has no brakes, or it's
You got to back pedal to stop it. The
you
old
got
school
it's
bikes. You got to skid them.
the pedals and the tires, the cranks and the tires, they're all connected. There's no stopping. If you're moving, everything's moving. So you're very connected to the bike. It's a very personal thing with your bike, and I fell in love immediately, and I've been doing it ever since. So it's something I've been very passionate about, and it's kind of been the driving force for my fitness for many years now.
Yes. Yes, and similar to me,
So
I can definitely relate because during the pandemic, the shutdown, I was like really doing a lot of like inner child healing. And I remembered when I was younger, that was kind of my escape. And so I'm like, if I liked it as a kid, why wouldn't I love it now? And when I was a kid, I had a purple bike and I had a radio on it.
yeah.
It was so lit, and I would just go and like love the wind in my hair, and I felt so alive. If I had anything going on that just like bothered me in my big world as a kid, you know, that was kind of my escape. And it completely saved my life as well. During the shutdown, that's all I did. I just started writing, and it was like I kind of like freed myself. It kind of helped me, you know, I'd like meditate on my bike. I'd go hard. I'd train every single day. And
Yeah,
then,
it's a great tool. It's a
yes.
great tool,
And it's like, you
you know,
don't even know what you're
physically and
training
mentally.
for.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to have a goal, but being on the bike just allows you to kind of work out anything that you might be going through. It might not even be on your mind at that point, but once you get on that bike, you start realizing, life is good.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no, for
start
sure.
having self appreciation on the bike. I mean, for me, it's hands down the greatest tool I've had over the years dealing with most of my hardships. Physically, mentally, within family, loss of family.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
it, it's hands down been my greatest asset throughout the years, and will always appreciate it and always have love for all bikes.
Yes, yes, no, for sure. Bike saved our lives. We're all about that hashtag bike life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that goes to my next question. So now my brother, you know, he passed on March 14th of 2015 on a motorcycle. Like he had such a connection, like always was connecting with people, and it was something that he was so passionate about. You know, for me, it was like this is now 7 years, but you know, grief has no time limit, you know. And so
Seriously.
that's where the bike really, you know, played out for me as well. So I can totally relate to you on loss. And this being the episode honoring my brother was like, I have to honor all of these organic connections that happened because this is exactly who he was and how he was. And so I was really, really thrilled to have you a part of it. And you being from Cali and so inspired by your drive and your passion for the bike, I was like, yeah, this dude is going places. And Instagram was so sorry to you, and wiped out your page because you were starting to get so many like good followers and stuff. Your reels were awesome. Like I saw you constantly putting in that work every single day, and it was
Yeah.
so inspiring. And then now it has led you.
The one thing that I will say though is that my old account, it's not like I had 20,000 followers or something, but all the people that were on there, it was organic. Everyone who was on there was active.
Yes, it was
It
somebody
was
you came in contact with some kind of way somehow.
exactly. So
Yes.
for me, the loss of the account was loss of relationships,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that hurt the most. I think
Yeah.
anyone can create a new Instagram, that's fine, and I have done so, but the relationships and bonds you create with these people that like you and I, like people you've never met, but people you vibe with and understand and came in contact with through whatever venue that you shared with them. It was organic and it was natural. So it was unfortunate, but some some I can get by. I got a new account, so it's all good.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Who and what inspires you, Sativa?
the people who inspire me are those who I surround myself with. I try to surround myself with like-minded individuals, people who are highly motivated in their sport, whether it be a bike, whether it be fucking tennis.
Yeah.
If
People who are
you
passionate about something, you have a passion for
yeah
something. Yes.
yeah and it doesn't matter what it is. You might not even have a sport. You might be an artist. Is something that
Yes.
drives you and fuels your daily drive and your work ethic towards that said thing, fuels me. I love surrounding myself with people who are highly motivated, um, and that's the people I try to surround myself with. My dad is a huge inspiration to me. He's probably one of my best friends. He's always showed me support, always showed me love.
That's
So
wonderful.
yeah, so I always try to do right by him, and
Yeah.
you know keep keep uh, keep everything in motion towards something that I would be proud for myself, looking in on what I was doing. You
Yeah.
know, uh, I lost my mom a couple years ago to cancer.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. It was hands down one of the hardest experiences of my life. And I went through a lot of hardship in that, and it took a couple years to uh, to understand that she would never allow me to have this mindset of like, oh, you fucked up, or what are you doing? So now I try to kind of do everything with her in mind, and with greater cause, as if she were looking in on what I'm doing now, uh,
Yeah.
kind of to,
Absolutely.
to make her proud, because
Yes.
the person who I was then was a fucking piece of shit, and I don't want to ever be that person again. So I'm trying to elevate my life and my goals to a point where she would have been proud of what I was doing. So
And
so
I
that's
think she
that's
would
where
be
that.
so proud because I see you every single day that you post putting in the work.
Yeah, I
And
know she would. I know she would.
and it's such an inspiration, which is why you have inspired me, and it led to this beautiful friendship. And I'm so happy to have you a part of this episode, and I can't wait to feature you on your own episode. And so we're
Yes,
going to
yes.
do that. So give us right now you have a little bit of a dilemma. I don't know. Do you call it a dilemma?
Yeah, a little injury, a
A
little
little
injury.
injury.
So was it March 1st? Um, I broke my leg, my right leg, due to a BMX injury. Uh,
Mm,
it's kind of a new discipline of riding that I've been taking up to kind of get into, kind of like just diversify my riding as a whole. So I've been taking up BMX again, and just took a bad fall. It wasn't even a fall; it was just bad landing. I landed weird on my feet and snapped my leg.
oh my
Um,
gosh.
it's a new hardship I'm going through, but it's a time for self reflection.
Yes.
I'm learning a lot about myself and kind of where I've been in the last year, things that I probably could have done better, um, and setting goals for myself when I'm back, and what I'm going to do when I'm healed, and that's where I'm at. I'm not going to allow this to be a downfall. I'm allow it to be something that's going to bring me back stronger, and it's going to be something.
Yes.
I've come back from injury. I'm going to be better than I was before, and that's the only way
Absolutely.
to get back to that.
Yes. That's so courageous and that's super inspiring. And I'm inspired by the way that you turn that around, this setback, minor, we'll call it that minor setback.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a minor setback.
And you're going to come back stronger. I know that you're going to come back stronger and you're going to hit it so much harder and you are going to raise the bar because I know that you are hungry. I feel
Definitely
it.
that.
I feel it.
Definitely that.
And you're going to miss being on your butt, this time that you're taking, to heal. It is good for, for self-reflection. It's almost like that ground yourself kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And do a lot of introspection and see, you know, what is this teaching me in this moment?
Absolutely.
You know, and it was just, if anything, it was like a good reminder that, you know, slow it down. You know,
It's strange, you know. I've never spent this much time off of a bike or out of work. You know, I'm so bored. I'm such a go 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 type of person. I'm always,
yeah.
I get off work, come home, do all my stuff at the house. You know, take the dog out,
Mm-hmm.
and then I peel out on the bike.
Yep.
So
I can
it's so
relate.
weird. Yeah,
I
it's
can
so weird
relate.
not doing anything.
Yeah. Well, Sativa, thank you so much for taking part of you know, this special episode. We relate on a lot of different levels from so many things, and I'm so appreciative. We'll have a full story and episode on you, and we'll catch back up with you, and so
Absolutely,
that way
yeah.
you can have some time to heal up. And we're sending prayers and healing energy your way, and we'll circle back to you in a few, you know, catch some more insight as we share your story, your goals, your dreams, and plans of going forward. And you know, much love to all of your crews and your bike crews that I'm sure are
Mm-hmm.
missing you so much out in Sacramento.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yes. Well, thank you for
Uh,
being present and sharing your heart and energy with us. And we can't wait to feature your full episode soon.
yeah,
So,
thank you for me. I feel honored to be part of this episode. Honoring your brother. You know, it's
yes. And how appropriate. This episode is called One Love, and that's exactly what it is. You know, we're sharing so much love with so many different beautiful souls and so many people who have inspired me, and my brother being somebody who inspired me so much. It's like it's really nice that it comes full circle with every interaction that I've made, whether it was on the internet or out on these streets or out on my bike or wherever I'm at. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for talking with us. Love, peace, blessings, and one love. And we'll catch back up to you in a couple of weeks. Okay?
Awesome.
All
Talk to you
right, dude.
soon.
We'll talk to you soon. Later.
Later.
All right, y'all. Let's show some love for the West Coast and Sativa. Yeah. Sacramento, California's very own. And let's give him another round of applause for his name being Sativa. We hope you get well soon, bud. We're going to be circling back to Sativa because we're featuring him on his very own episode to get to know him a little bit more. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into why he is so inspiring and how he inspired me. Up next, I'd like to introduce a dude who has also truly inspired me. Our next full featured episode is on Milk the Barber, aka the Fade Doctor. Now, I met Milk the Barber at one of those full circle moments. As most of you guys already have been well acquainted with my brother Wardy.
You heard me?
So I took Wardy for a haircut for Christmas because it had been like a decade since he had a professional haircut. And this is where I ran into a good friend of mine who gave me a referral for this barber who was like, oh, he always gets me right. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's his name? She said, the Fade Doctor. I said, the Fade Doctor? Wardy said, oh man, he finna do surgery. So here we are with Milk. Mo Money.
Milk the Fade Doctor. Milk Money. All the above. You know what I'm saying?
You heard me. Man.
Money in the house.
Mo Money right here. You already know. Let's hit that double money. All right, Milk. So I was super inspired by you, and also just being in your little shop. You got a little vibe in there. You got a little energy. So tell me about who is Milk Money, the barber.
The barber. First off, I want to say thank you for saying that you was inspired by me. I mean, I guess I try to inspire people just by living the right way. Just trying to be a good energy.
Yes.
Trying to just be positive.
Yes.
Even though I'm not perfect, even though I'm not a perfect person, I still strive to do good in the world.
Yes.
Connect,
and that's what you
connect,
stand for?
and connect with good people. But me, Milk, the barber is somebody who's practicing his craft. I wouldn't say that I'm perfect, but I strive to do the best that I can. Like I started off cutting hair at the age of 13, so when I first picked up the clippers, it was basically practicing on myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I started off fucking myself up. Then I graduated to like my little cousins, cutting them, practicing on them.
Yeah.
Then my brother, my dad, and all my dad friends. Then before you know it, I was cutting everybody in the neighborhood. I was doing $5 cuts.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? From 13.
Collecting that
Money. So yeah. So started off doing $5 cuts. I never thought that being a barber would be my profession, like my career.
Yeah.
So like full circle.
Yes.
20 years later, this is what I'm doing for a living, and I'm just so blessed.
Yes.
I wake up and I tell people all the time, I get to do something that I have a passion for and that I love to do.
Yes. You got to be passionate about what you love.
I love just to transform people, just to see put a smile. Like when I hand people that mirror and they got a smile on their face, it's like I did my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Milk, the fade doctor is just somebody who inspires to transform people, who inspires to be better at his craft all the time, learning new skills, just trying to be better. That's all.
I can relate to you on that level as well, because I also work with clients. Right. So me as an esthetician, I've been in the game now almost in August it'll be 17 years, which is so crazy. Yeah, I'm a veteran. But, I started off by doing the everyday, facials and stuff like that. And when you're doing a facial, somebody's asleep usually. You're relaxing them, and that's cool and all because you're giving them that one-on-one energy, that transfer. However, I was like, you know what? I was already thinking, money. I got to double up, so I started waxing. And I'm like, I can do so many people and so many in an hour, you know what I'm saying? That can double up for that hour-long facial. But more than that, I got to see and connect with so many more people on a regular basis. And that's really where my heart is I love to connect with people in a way also like you do. So it really kind of, when I walked into your spot, I was like, I understand his vibe, I understand. I already knew what it was, when I met you, and it was also one of those full circle moments because I was blessing Wardy with a haircut.
Right.
And when I came in and I felt your energy and I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah, this is a cool dude.
Cool dude.
It was a cool dude. So then, you hooked up, Wardy. We just got to talking, and how I was so inspired by you was because you told me that you like to give back to your clients. And I also, do that as well. I think we as in the cosmetology circle, whether it's a barber, facialist, or, esthetician, waxer like me, we have those close one-on-ones with people, and they just are in a vulnerable state, right? So they just start spitting. They start telling their whole lives. We're the real therapists out here.
Yeah, therapy, man. Sometime after work, you need therapy.
Yes.
So you need somebody to talk to, like, man.
Yes.
Because some people unload a lot of stuff on you.
So
it's like, okay, you help them with their problems, but now you got to figure out how to deal with yours.
But you find inspiration in each person that you meet, right? There's something that sparks a little something like, man, you want, just like we transform them, me taking out their hair, you clipping their hair, you know what I'm saying? We give them a little transformation, a little touch of our craft, right?
Right.
However, we also give them that insight, You know, sometimes when you feel somebody who comes sits in your chair who's real heavy energy, who's down and out complaining about stuff, I always use those times, you know, for me personally, to try and flip their perspective and give them a brighter side of things and different ways of thinking.
Yeah, for me, I just appreciate that people trust me.
Yes.
To give me some of their personal information, like to tell me some of the stuff that they're dealing with. It's like, okay, but I did learn that, you know, with us being in this field on like a one-on-one basis, normally these people don't have nobody else to talk to.
Yeah.
And then when they sit in our chair, they comfortable with us, and they unload, it's because they know that we can't really go spread and tell other people, because they don't really know us. We don't know the people that they know, so they're like, okay, I might get some good advice, and I can just unload it. I can release, because it's important to release.
Yes.
All the negative energy that you might have in you, release it and get some good insight, and that's what they do. And I give them the best advice that I can. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
That's real. Word. I was so inspired by you because you had told me that you were working on something, and I told you how beautiful it was. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about, briefly, because we're not going to spoil it all. We're not going to spoil it all right now. We got more coming. We got a whole episode on Milk the Barber coming next. It'll be our next full episode. But go ahead and tell them what you told me.
Oh yeah, every Monday I started a men's mental health program where we basically minister and we deal with men who might be going through mental issues. Myself dealing with everyday life. We just get around and we talk and we help each other. We build relationships, we build brotherhood, and we release. It's important. Like, that's the most important thing in the world. If you're carrying like a burden, something heavy on you, is to release it. Because if you hold it, it has all the power over you.
Yeah.
But once you release it, there's no more power. You know what I mean?
You take back that power.
Yeah, you take back the power.
Yes.
Take the power back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? We allow men to come and be vulnerable.
Yes, and that's so inspiring, Milk. And I really, that touched my heart when you told me that, because it was that full circle moment for me. You know, Wardy was going through some things. He made some life adjustments, some life changes that were a little bit drastic in that moment, and I just wanted to give back to him, and so I poured that love into him, and then I met you. So that's something that was so beautiful that I got out of it. And Milk, by the way, I was so inspired by his movement that he had invited me to be the first female to come chop it up with him.
The first.
You heard me. And the only. That double money action.
You know what I mean? Because it's money on top of money.
But
we
you
got
know,
more money and milk money.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm so excited, and I'm so honored, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of it. And thank you so much, Milk, for stopping by the little studio to give us some insight and give us some love. Just, you know, energy is currency, and that's what you're throwing out. You're spreading that love. Keep doing your thing. Stay up.
Because it's therapy, and you opening your third eye.
Yeah.
Third eye.
Therapy. You heard me.
One love.
One love. So today being such a significant day and you being a part of it, Milk, I'm so blessed to have you here on 314. And go ahead, give me a little insight about 314 for you. What does 314 mean for you?
314 means a lot to me because it's my area code. Is where I'm from. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Ooh.
And it's a big thing in St. Louis. Every year we celebrate 314 Day, just appreciating where we come from.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's important. It's significant.
Yes, it is significant.
314.
314. Shout out. Hey, full circle moment. St. Louis, we sending love. We out. All right, y'all. Y'all show some love for Milk the Barber. Yes. Milk money. As we mentioned, today was such a significant day. I am so blessed and happy to have these beautiful souls a part of today's episode, because that is exactly what my brother Deki was all about, was connecting with people. And this was such a significant moment. I'm so happy that for Milk, it was also significant 314 day. So I'm going to just carry that on and transmute that back into 314 day to celebrate Deki and his life. And all of these full circle moments that happen is just such a blessing. So I'm so happy for these guys being a part of it. Our next episode, we're going to be featuring, as I said earlier, we're going to have Milk as his own featured episode. And this episode that we're going to be dropping next is going to be called Be the Change You Wish to See, because that's exactly what Milk is doing. And we're going to take a deeper look into him and his story. We're going to chop it up with him. Then after that, we'll have the YouTube video that's going to lead us there. So y'all most definitely want to stay tuned in and be looking out for that video. That will be our first Third Eye Therapy YouTube video. So let's show some mad love for Milk the Barber while he celebrates 314 Day with us. But above all else, on 314, today we celebrate one love. And last but not least, I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine. His name is Luis. From the moment I met Luis, I knew he was a cool cat. He had a dog just like mine. Another one of those organic connections when I was just checking my mailbox. And I wish I could say I was minding my own business, but when I saw his dog, listen, that's my business. So Luis and I, we like to talk. So he was right away my kind of people. And we just chopped it up and we exchanged information and stories about each other, and we related on a lot of levels. And I was like, this cat is hungry for something. And so I was, of course, inspired by him, by his journey. And as he shared a little bit more and I got to know him, I learned a lot of deeper things about Luis, and I am so supportive of him and everything that he wants to achieve, because Luis is hungry for success. And he's an intellectual on all things. He educates himself. He stays ever learning. And that was something that was so inspiring as well. Luis had just shared with me what he had been through and what he was overcoming. And it was something that really touched my heart, and it was something that I could relate to on a certain level. I was inspired by his strength, his courage, and his bravery. So of course I wanted to include Luis on this One Love episode, because that's exactly what it was, one love. So let's chop it up with Luis. What's up, Luis?
Hey, how's it going, Monica? It's nice to see you today.
Yeah, you too, dude. You know what I love so much about you is that you're always willing to share knowledge.
Well, I mean, you think about it, knowledge is there to expand. You're there to expand your knowledge. You're there to really teach other people what you've learned, to keep other people from making those same mistakes. You can't really learn just from yourself. You need to learn from other people as well. Right?
And as y'all know, guys, this is exactly why I brought Luis on. You already catch his vibe just from the first couple seconds of hearing his voice.
All positive vibes here. Most definitely.
All the time. Give everybody listening a little inside scoop of this intellectual, success, hungry, and driven man named Luis. Who are you, Luis?
Right. So, obviously, as you heard, my name is Luis Gonzalez. I come from Memphis, Tennessee, which, as you may have heard. Shout out Memphis, most definitely. Not really the best place to stay. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you're in there and you're stuck, try to find your way out as best as possible.
Really?
Yeah, most definitely.
Memphis is home of Graceland.
Yeah, Elvis Presley,
Yeah, he set the tone.
Yeah, he definitely did, and there's a lot of rich culture in there. It's so lovely, the
music
culture,
scene,
the music, the culture, the genres. A lot of famous people have come from there, and they've grown in there. They've learned a lot being in Memphis and seeing what goes down in that area. It's really special. It's really something to see.
Yeah. So what brought you here?
Well, honestly, I've grown up in Memphis, Tennessee all my life. I went down to Mexico when I was 1 years old, and I didn't really stay there long enough to get to know my family on that side of the world. But at the end of the day, I was in Memphis for 18 years. 18 years of my life. That was a lot, and I didn't really plan on leaving there. Everything was really unexpected. But obviously things happen. My brother passed away. He happened to have passed about a year and a half ago. And
my condolences. I tell you every time.
Thank you.
Because that's grief is something that's so hard, and there's not a time limit. And here I am, 7 years later, celebrating the life of my brother. So
Right.
that's something that I deeply related to you on, and which was another reason why I want to have you on this episode.
Right.
But so yes, I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you.
And-
Yeah, well, my brother, we obviously grew up together. We were in the same household. Before my parents split, it was we were always fighting. Though I loved him to death, he was always with me, always next to me. He always wanted to be around my friends. He felt like he deserved to be around people that were older than he actually was. And
So he was younger than you, much
Yes.
younger than you.
4 years younger than me,
4 years,
and probably half a foot taller than me. Believe it or not,
He was taller than you.
He was 6'2".
Oh
So,
my gosh.
15 years old, 6'2". That's
So he would beat you up.
Let's just say we had our scuffles here and there, and at some point when he outgrew me, I stopped fighting that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's just leave it at that. But no, he was definitely a big fella. He was a noble heart. He loved everybody, each and every person that walked into his life. He always extended his arms out to everybody, trying to help them. And he obviously tried to help himself, but his priority was always his family. Whether it was his friends or his blood, he always
Yeah.
prioritized people over him. And that's really special about him. I'd like to say that he
Yeah.
learned that from me, but I learned that from my father. So we
Yeah.
could say that we both learned that from my father.
Yeah.
Right.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And what was his name?
His name is Jonathan Gonzalez.
Jonathan.
Jonathan Josue Gonzalez. Yes, he was born on June 7th, 2005, and he was huge. He was a big impact on my life. Growing up, I really didn't want him around me because I felt like he was too young to understand my mentality and my mindset. But being 12 years old, you really don't have much of a mentality, if that makes
Your
sense.
mindset, yeah.
I was still learning, I was still growing, and I was still trying to figure out who I was in this life and what I was going to do.
Yeah.
But he always wanted to stick by me no matter what.
Yeah.
And it was kind of difficult to see that at a young age, knowing as kids are stubborn.
Yeah.
Kids fight a lot and they do this and do that. But
Yeah.
end of day, you grow up and you realize what that really was, and you learn to love that. You learn to appreciate and embrace all that.
Yeah. What was something that he left you with? The impact and the change in your life of missing somebody so significant in your life. I mean, I know what it feels like.
Oh, definitely.
How have you grown around the grief? Because that's really all we can do is grow around
Right.
it. I mean, it never goes away. That's something that's
You have to learn to live with, honestly.
Yes. How have you taken that? Because I see your courage and your strength, and to be able to leave your home state that you've known your whole entire life of Memphis, Tennessee, to come to Texas. I mean, I know Memphis, and I'm
Halfway across the country. Halfway across the country. I mean, honestly, growing up in the place where we really didn't have much. My parents lived in a trailer. We all lived in a trailer for the first. I lived in a trailer for the first 12 years of my life. I've never seen a house. Never went into a house. Never lived in a home rather than a trailer. Well, we didn't know much. We only knew what was around us, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that plays a big impact on your life as you're really enclosed with the limitations of your environment.
Yeah.
It really changes the way, it really limits the way that you think in terms of
Absolutely.
success.
Absolutely.
But he was a really kind person. He always looked for everyone else's best interest. He loved to help other people.
Yeah.
That was his main thing. That was his main goal. And he would always tell me, one day we're gonna make it out of here. One day you and I, we're gonna live together. We're gonna have a job somewhere. We're gonna say screw all this bull crap, and we're gonna live our lives, and no one's gonna be able to say otherwise.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
that whole goal really drove him to work hard at a very young age to get the hell out of Memphis,
Yeah.
right? Because as you see, there's a whole bunch of killings on highways. There's a whole bunch of shootings in grocery stores and malls.
In Memphis. I see. We don't hear about a lot of these things.
Right, right. And you realize that when it's so common, it's hard for all of this, Fox News and News Channel 3 or News Channel 5 to show everybody what's going on. You see it on the news one time and you leave it at that. You're like, well, that happened, because the week before something similar happened already. So you're already used to what you're seeing. You kind of just learn to live with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, he really inspired me to grow and try to get the hell out of Memphis at some point.
And you did.
I did. Yeah, thanks to him. Actually, it was, I couldn't imagine being where I am right now. I couldn't imagine having the job that I have, living the life that I live, and being with the person that I am right now without him.
Yes.
He always inspired me to chase my dream, whatever I want. He specifically told me this, and I quote, and he quotes, live your life. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Fuck everyone else's negative thoughts. Pursue your dreams. Do what you want.
Yes.
Live the career that makes you happy, regardless of what anybody else tells you. And so that really stuck with me even before he passed, because as a person growing up in Memphis, you got to realize I'm Hispanic. So, the vast majority of people residing in Memphis just tend to be non-Hispanic.
Yeah.
Right? So I really felt excluded from most of the groups that I was in and growing up in high school and whatnot.
Yeah.
Going into high school and middle school and whatnot. It was very difficult for me to kind of fit in with other people. So my best way of fitting in was really hanging out with my brother and being with him as much as possible. And that's where I got all of that inspiration, just from him simply being him, looking up to me and understanding that I was there for him no matter what. And so he always tried to repeat that same concept towards everyone else that he met. He always tried to exercise that mentality towards everyone that he met. And that was what was so special about him.
Yes.
Right? He always saw the positive impact that you can make just being a good person, no matter where you're from, no matter what you're doing, as long as you have the right mentality and the heart to really be genuine and have those morals to keep you straight in that path that you want to go. He knew that. He knew that it would generate success.
And you say that, and I see that drive and that hunger in you. I see it when I look at you now in your eyes. I see the hunger and the drive, and that you have, transmuted this hurt of loss, and you continue to carry that on, not just for you, and it's got to be so much harder as an older brother.
Yeah, trust me.
Knowing that your little brother who looked up to you is not there, but now he's
a part of me.
He's a part of you.
He's a part of me, and I'm a strong believer that we are all one person. We are all one entity. This world is all one. We all are connected in some shape, way, or form. Correct. And so I felt like when my brother passed, that he really entered my body in some shape, way, or form, metaphorically speaking. He ended up giving me all of his best features, and I ended up embracing that. I felt him in everything that I did.
That's
and
beautiful.
I saw him in everything that I saw and observed.
That's beautiful.
Soon after he passed, my mind was really boggled. It was really enclosed. I couldn't think. I couldn't really speak. I couldn't eat well. You know how that goes.
Of course.
But I wouldn't get too much into that. I basically started trying to look for remedies, as I couldn't even go to get psychiatric help or any of that.
Yeah.
So I started really paying attention more to nature, starting really embracing nature and appreciating everything around me for what it is and what it's for. And in everything that I did, I saw him, and I would hear his voice, and I'd hear his advice, his voice in my head telling me, like, you're doing great, you're doing amazing, keep it going, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And That's really something.
Yeah,
it's really
that's
something.
so beautiful. We send so much love to your lost. You
Thank
know,
you.
we send so much love. I feel like I know him
Through me.
through you,
Yeah, I
and it's
definitely.
beautiful.
Yeah, we definitely share the same personality, and we did since I was a young kid.
Yes.
I was definitely one of his main role models, as you know, my father was always working.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Fathers, even mothers sometimes, mothers, single fathers, they have to work a lot. Now, my parents
Yeah.
weren't separated back then, but it happened to have been, you know, as immigrants, it's really difficult to make a living starting from ground zero.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I can
being
imagine. Imagine that for sure.
yeah, so you know, when my father was working from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, there was no father figure that was really there to help him out in such cases.
Now,
So
knowing that your father, was providing, do you fault him for that in
well,
some ways,
you know,
or
as a kid, you really do, honestly, or I did at
because
least.
being present is the most important as a child?
Yes, right, because you know you only know what's around your home. If you're a small child, you really don't have any other father figure or parental
Yeah.
figure other than your parents, right?
Yeah.
And so when they're out there and they're working hard, you don't really see that side of them. You only see their absence, and it's very difficult to grasp that concept that they're actually out there trying to make a living for you. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so you know, growing up, I actually eventually ended up understanding that, and I grew to accept it because
Yeah.
he's a very hardworking man, very hardworking. He works every day now. He still doesn't stop working. You know, he's invested in a lot of his business. Over, you know, I don't even want to say the number, but he's grown from zero. He was actually a concrete worker, and now he's an independent contractor.
Oh,
And so
wow.
you obviously see all of that hard work pays off. And
Yeah.
thanks to his hard work that he's done over the last 21 years being here in the United States, it it really goes to show that his progress has been tremendous. You know, I
Yes.
at the end of the day now at 21 years old, I praise him for everything that he does.
Yeah.
You know, no matter if he's, you know, working for someone else or if he's working for himself or if he's passing the jobs on to other people, you know, there are some days he will take a job and he won't receive $1 from that job, but he simply takes that job so his workers can keep eating,
Oh
right?
man,
And so
that's inspiring.
you see that
Yeah.
mentality there, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, I see that driving force of success and stuff. I definitely see that in you. And thank you so much, Luis, for chopping it up today. I can't wait to feature you in your own episode.
yeah, thank you for having me. No problem, and
Yes,
I definitely look forward to it. You know, I really enjoyed talking to you here, and it's
it's
a
always
really
good vibes.
it's a really peaceful environment indeed. Yeah,
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Luis. We'll catch up with you again soon.
thank you.
That was my homie Luis. Let's give him a big round of applause. I can't wait to feature Luis on his own full episode to go a little bit deeper and share more insight and one-on-one heart-to-hearts, bringing light to a matter that is really, really important to him. And if it's important to him, it's most definitely important to me. So as we celebrate Deki today on the day of his departure, 314, we celebrate the movement and the legacy that he left behind and the inspiration that he really put on the hearts of many through the One Love movement. And it's still carrying on to this day. So what better way to honor him by inviting some of our friends who were truly and deeply inspired by Hideki. So of course we have to add their voices in the mix.
Yellow.
What up, Blake?
Was I?
Was I?
Was I?
Oh, we could do this for hours.
Yes, we could. Nice. Yes.
DJ Blake in the house.
Yes, that would be me.
Yes, which you always have some killer house tracks.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
So, I mean, as you know, this episode is one that's super, super special. This episode is dedicated to our boy, our brother.
Yes, my brother from another mother, Deki. who I dearly miss daily.
This episode is about it's called One Love. So
Nice.
this embodies the One Love movement. And you know, Deki was always symboling out his one love.
Yes, he was. One love is what it was about. It still is.
Yes, still is to
Yes.
this day. So where were you when you heard the news?
I was in Houston looking for him because he had disappeared. I was at home and then went out and actually was looking for him. But I was in my car when I received a text that said the bad news.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, what do you do when you get that message, right? I mean, I was in my car when I got the phone call. You know what I mean? I was like in disbelief.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I had talked to him earlier that day. We were supposed to link up, and that was the reason why I went looking for him.
It's so hard to always go back to 7 years ago on this day where we were. But what we do know, the time in between, how we have coped and how we have dealt with this great loss and what this loss meant to you, because we all interpret grief in different ways. And
Yes.
so, you know, losing a brother like that, I mean, you guys were always on Cell B. I would always get that.
Cell B, that was us. Cell B.
Yes, Cell B. I would get that every Sunday. He would hit me
Yep.
with the link and the time. He'd be like, "Yo, sis, tune in." And
Yes, Cell B. Oh God, we were streaming before streaming was cool.
I know.
But yeah, that was me and him, Cell B, man. I can't believe you brought that up. But the memories. Yes, every Sunday we got together and threw down.
Yes. Y'all collabed. Y'all were a
Yes, we did
powerful collab duo.
We were. He inspired me in different ways, different types of music that I wasn't used to playing, but really got into. It was a joy meeting him. I can remember the day we met. It was at a pool, my pool, at my apartments, where he did not stay and just was there randomly. And I invited him up for a drink.
It's so funny that you say that real quick. Hold that,
Yeah.
because let me tell you, I have heard so many people have told me that they have met Hideki at a random apartment by a pool. So,
Yeah. And it was just random because he went there with his friend Gabe, and
yep,
neither one of them lived there. It was the apartment across from Gabe's house.
Of course they didn't.
Yeah. And I brought him up to my apartment to grab some drinks, and like he walked in and was like, "What?" and saw the turntables, and like from then on, it was just like we were connected. Like,
Instant.
linked. Yes, instantly, and it didn't stop until the day he did, unfortunately.
Yes. So how many years was it?
I want to say not enough.
Yeah, definitely not enough.
I want to say around 5 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't long enough. That's for sure.
What did you learn from him?
He played a different type of music that I really was influenced by. I learned to take a chill every once in a while. And I learned a lot about cars as well, which now I'm super into.
Yes. He had that effect on people.
He did. I mean, just all around, he was a great guy. I dearly miss him every day, although I get to remember him every single day because he named my son. So every time I say Braxton's name, I think of him because he's the one who named him.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Braxton is such a precious boy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. My little man. He's becoming a little man now.
Yeah. You know, like for me, Hideki's death has really transpired everything that I'm doing now. You know, it has led me to, I mean, he was podcasting way before podcasts were even a thing. I mean, he always had he was like a pioneer.
Yes, he was.
Way before.
And on point, man. His energy was immaculate. There was not really a dull moment with him.
Nope.
All the way around.
Exactly. Yeah. When you met him, you knew that he was there, his energy, you felt his presence. I mean, you couldn't help but just turn your head and look at this dude who comes in, you know, making some kind of noise, or
walking in or being like, "What's up?" Oh man,
such an energy and such a vibe that he brought.
Yes,
and
very much so.
Man,
he also taught me, you know, music within Houston, because I basically had retired from DJing, became a bedroom DJ again for a while, but he's the one who actually kicked me back into, you know, the parties and actually going out and actually, you know, gave me a kick in the butt to actually go back out and play music in front of people. So
yes, that's beautiful. And I know that he always, anytime that he had the time to be on streaming or on some kind of platform, he'd always give that shout out to Blake.
Man, and I would do the same to him, man.
And you are. And you are 7 years later.
Always. And for life, man.
Yes.
That's what we always used to say, dude, for life.
Yes.
So, one love for life.
One love for life. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. One love for life. One love for Deki. His death brought together so many people. And although we all have, you know, ventured on our own ways, we all collectively remember on this day the same kind of hurt and same kind of pain, and we're all connected in that way. So this is why I wanted to have you a part of this episode, something so special.
Yes, it is very much so, and I appreciate the opportunity to do so.
Man, Blake, I send you so much love.
I'm sending it right back to you, girl.
Now, one last thing, Blake. If you could tell our brother something today, what would you tell him?
I wish you could have been here for some of the success that you had influenced me to go after, because I would have brought you along the whole entire way. I miss you, brother. Until we meet again.
One love.
One love.
Thank you so much, Blake. For life. Word.
Yes, for life. Nothing but love, girly.
Yes. All right. Well, let's link up soon. And thank you so much for the call.
Yeah, not a problem. My pleasure. And thank you again for having me.
Now tell these people where they can find you.
Yeah, DJ Blake Mathis, Instagram. I have a Facebook page, DJ Blake Mathis. Check it out. Hit me up.
What kind of music? Let them know the kind of music.
All house music, every day, every night. Although I can play everything, house music is what I produce. Still, that's another thing that Deki actually did. He influenced me to start making music again. So I've been doing it since.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways, nothing but love, y'all. One love to Deki. Always.
Always. All right. Later, dude.
Later.
Deki was such an awesome person. He was a great friend. He was a brother. And in the brief time we knew each other, it felt like we knew each other forever. I was introduced to Deki through my brother, through my big brother, who was like his best friend for the longest time, you know. And
they lived together.
Yeah, they lived together for a long time, too. So when I first met him, you know, of course, anytime you first meet somebody, you know, people will tell you, oh, yeah, this dude's cool. Oh, yeah, this dude, this and that. But when I first met him, you know, I didn't know what to expect, of course. And so when I did meet him finally, it was exactly everything that my brother said he was. You know, he was awesome. He was funny. He was cool. It was really a pleasure to be around this guy. Like, if anytime,
he was always good energy.
Right, he was good energy. Anytime you're around somebody, you know, you may worry what you say or maybe tiptoe around your jokes, or it wasn't anything like that. It was just such a vibe. Like whenever we were on the same wavelength always.
Yeah.
You know, so my first interaction with him was awesome, and in the time I knew him, it was always great. You know, before he passed, he had wanted to help me to learn how to do what he does, and it was CNC machine work, right? And so he was telling me how to get into it and stuff, and he was also telling me, oh, you know, come over and I'll show you how to work on motorcycles and all this stuff, because I was learning how to work on cars. So it was just, you know, he was such a welcoming person, and such a he wanted to, you know, he was on your team. You know, if you were good vibes and you had something you were trying to get into, he was all about it, you know? So I really appreciate that about Deki.
He always made somebody feel seen and special, and he was always willing to share his knowledge on something. Like if it was something that you were into or y'all had a common interest, he was always willing to chop it up and help.
Just like my big brother, he treated me like a little brother too. You know, he just like adopted me into his brother too, you know, and I did the same for him.
That's exactly how he was. One thing that I remember was getting the news of his passing. Of course, that was something that I will never, ever, ever, ever forget. And I happened to be with you, Ren, 2 days before. You and Brandon invited me to Through the Roots concert, which is this awesome little reggae island group, and they were playing at Warehouse Live. I always enjoyed Warehouse Live because of the venue had brought back so many memories for me, and the memories were all with Deki because we'd celebrate Gritzy's there, and he one time had an opportunity to spin. And he told me, he was like, hey sis, you know, gather up as many people, they're gonna let me spin, I get a gig. And he was like, you know, if I have a lot of people there, they're gonna let me spin a little bit more, you know, that's how you build up. And so he was like, I get a room to myself. So I remember we went, he had like a small room first, and then I had brought so many people, got tickets, you know, like he handed me some tickets to give to people. And you know, he was kind of worried that he wasn't gonna have a big crew, and you already know I pull up with a whole Hummer full of people,
an army truckload,
and that's how I pulled up, just like that. So I come in with a Hummer full of people, and he was like so surprised and so like happy in this little bitty room of him spinning. Like, oh my gosh, there's actually a photo on our thumbnail of him of that night wearing the gray striped with his little glasses. He was like on it. He was so happy. Then they put him into, since he had such a good, you know, turnout, they put him into another room, and that was the room where it was like it was a night to celebrate, because
he had a big room too.
Yeah, it was a big room, and he was able to spin, and there was a lot more people, and this was whole nother event. So that was like one of the very most like memorable moments of going to Warehouse Live. So when you invited me to Warehouse Live, I'm like, I always have fun at Warehouse Live. I walk in, and it happened to be the same room where Deki had like the bigger room, and he was so heavy on my heart. And this was 2 days before he passed. When I walked in, he was the first person I thought of, because I was like, man, that was such a good night, you know. And I was so happy and thankful that you guys had invited me to that concert. I had a great time. And then it was heavy on my heart to text him, and I didn't. And that was something that I was really, really, really heavy on my heart, because I told myself to text him, but I got caught up in the excitement, and I forgot to text him. And then it was 2 days later, it was too late. And so that's something that really, really, really has like kind of haunted me a lot. And when there's events at Warehouse Live, I hesitate
No.
to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't want that feeling.
Yes.
Because then it starts to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the things. I mean, grief has no time frames.
I would say not to think about it in that way, because you know Deki, and he wouldn't have wanted you to think about anything like that.
Exactly.
You were having fun. He would have wanted you to be having fun. And at the same time, whenever you go someplace, he would want you to hold that memory of him having fun at that place, not in a negative way,
Exactly.
So I would definitely go about that differently,
Exactly.
Don't think about it like it's a bad thing that even in the sense that you felt like calling him and you didn't. That's a different, that's like it's a mind thing where you were thinking of him, and you already know he appreciates you for that. You were always there for him. Like, it's a different vibe that came with being Deki's friend, where it was always something different when it came to him, something exciting. It was always a good time. So I like to think about it like that. All those good times and all those good memories, you didn't have anything bad with Deki, so don't think about it, anything bad when it comes to him.
Yeah, no.
His presence.
And that is something that, like, it's a lot easier said than done. However, I've learned to cope in different ways, and this is one of them. Like, he and I had always talked about doing this together. We would even record little pieces together. Like, he would have me record before his DJ things. He'd have me say, Hideki-san, hey. He would have me do little pieces or sing little parts before his DJ intros and stuff that he would play around with. And they were just some of the most memorable moments of my life with him. If I would have known that it was such short time, I would have overstayed my welcome many times to kick it with him, because it was always bliss. It was always fun. It was adrenaline. It was always a ride, and he was always down to ride. Corinne, you never got to
really socialize. We met in passing,
and you met through phone calls with me and him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but just like hearing him, like, and seeing him through your eyes, like, I would have like totally been cool with him. Like,
yeah.
And then also, like, just seeing him have the love in his eyes for his kids, because that's where I saw him as well. Like, that's deep. Like, a parent to parent can see that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, he absolutely loved his girls. That light him up. I absolutely know that he would be so even more so in love than he already was in the short time that he was there or here.
And knowing Deki through your eyes, and like celebrating his life throughout the years, and seeing everyone who came around for him, and meeting them and getting to know them, and just being like cool. Like, everyone was cool in their own aspects, but then all of them talking about the coolest dude and him not being there. I felt like I missed out a little on meeting him, just based off everyone's perspective of him. Like,
was it like, could you feel his vibe?
Yeah, like, I just feel like he, at any moment, he's gonna walk through that door being the dorkiest, funniest guy, just causing like a spotlight on him. Like, oh, I want to see it too. Like, where is he? Oh.
Yes, that's exactly what he was.
Hideki, you were a great friend, and you were a wonderful father. You are sorely missed, and we'll see you on the other side, brother. Peace. Frankie 5 times.
I'm having memories of Deki. I know that one thing that he taught me. It was the kind of family he was raising. How to be a parent to your stepkids, but not a step parent, but a parent. Treating them all equally. I would say thank you, for teaching me how to bring families together. I love you. I miss you. Like you say, one love.
One love, Deki. We miss you, Dek. One love.
Thank you all for tuning in to our second Third Eye Therapy episode, a beautiful tribute. We'll catch you on the next one. One love.